Let me guess. You've promised yourself this is the semester you'll finally get your grades together. You buy new notebooks, make a Pinterest-perfect desk setup, and 2 weeks later, you're already behind again. The problem isn't your motivation, it's your foundation. Most students think success starts when you open a textbook, but it actually starts way before that. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 steps formula that top students use to prepare for success before they even start studying. We'll talk about how to set SMART goals that actually work, how to plan your week like a strategist, and how to organize your materials so your brain can finally focus. So if you're ready to stop winging it and finally take control of your study life, let's get started. Number 1, SMART goals. First, you need to have a clear goal. Not just a goal, but a SMART goal. What is a SMART goal? SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. By setting SMART goals, you give yourself the opportunity to take a hard look at your objectives, understand what is motivating them, and pinpoint the actions you need to take to meet them. S. Specific. A goal must be clear and unambiguous. Example, instead of "I will study more," a specific goal is, "I will study for the biology exam by reviewing my notes and making flashcards every Monday and Wednesday evening." M. Measurable. Goals must have a metrics attached to them. Example, instead of "I will read more," a measurable goal is, "I will read 1 chapter of the history textbook every day before class and complete all end of chapter quizzes with a score of 80% or higher." A. Attainable. Goals are ambitious but not unachievable. Example, if you work 30 hours a week and take a full course load, the achievable study goal is, "I will dedicate only 10 hours per week of studying to my most challenging course." An unachievable goal would be, "I will dedicate 30 hours per week of studying." R. Relevant. A goal is relevant if it aligns with your broader objectives and long-term aspirations. Example, if your major requires a high grade in a math class, then a relevant goal is, "My goal to spend extra time in the math tutoring center is relevant because my overall objective is to become an engineer, which requires a strong foundation in calculus." T. Time-bound. Every goal needs a deadline or a fixed time frame. Example, instead of "I'll start studying next month," a time-bound goal is, "I will complete my research paper outline and have it reviewed by my instructor by the end of the day, next Friday, November 15th. Do you have your SMART goal for the week? Comment down below. Number 2, planning like a pro. Create a study schedule that works for you. Effective planning and organization are the practical steps that allows you to achieve your SMART goals. Without them, even the most well-defined goals remain just ideas. Creating study schedule and sticking to it like a time management. A study schedule is a visual blueprint of your week that allocates specific time blocks for academic tasks. It transforms the vague goal of studying more into concrete, non-negotiable appointments. Balanced activities. Your schedule must be realistic. Block out time for fixed commitments like classes, work, sleep, and meals first. Then, schedule your study sessions, ensuring you also include a time for recreation and self-care. An overly aggressive schedule is unsustainable and leads to burnout. If it's not on your schedule, don't do it. Number 3, organize your study space and materials. Now you have your SMART goals and your pro planning. The next method is organize your study space and materials. Organizing your physical and digital materials reduces distractions and prevents wasting time searching for information. Example, separate systems by course or subject. Keep all materials for a single course separated from others, whether using a loose leaf binder, separate spiral notebook, or digital folders. Because a clean desk equals a clear mind equals better focus. Now you have your SMART goals, your pro-planning, and you already organize your study space and materials. Now it's time for fourth method. It's called active learning and study techniques. Active learning and study techniques are evidence-based methods that encourage engaging with material actively rather than passively. There are two types of studying: passive studying and active studying. Passive studying is the most common way people use to study, where you don't require to think about material deeply. Just you and the notes, like reading, listening, and watching video. Passive studying often relying on memorization. Let's break down some powerful passive study techniques. 1. Reading. Simply rereading your notes or textbook over and over. 2. Highlights. Highlighting text while reading to identify important information. While it feels productive, this method is considered passive because it doesn't require deep processing, leading to a false sense of familiarity without true comprehension. 3. Listening. Listening to a lecture without taking notes or asking questions. 4. Copy. Copying notes word for word. These methods are the traditional ways people study, and it has a low information retention rate, typically between 10% and 30%. Unlike active learning, which involves applying and interacting with information and can lead to retention rates as high as 70% to 90%. Active study, aka active recall. Active studying is a method of learning that requires cognitive engagement through activities like discussing, problem-solving, and self-testing, rather than passive methods like rereading notes. This approach promotes deeper understanding and better long-term retention by forcing your brain to actively process and apply information. Test yourself by trying to remember the information from memory. It's like making your brain lift weights. The more it struggles to recall, the stronger your memory becomes. Let's break down some powerful active study techniques. Flashcard. Yes, the good old flashcard. Question on one side, answer on the other. Try to recall before flipping. Now there's a new ways to do flashcards rather than the traditional ones where you manually cut cards and shuffles randomly. Now you just paste the topic and poof, the material's ready. It saves you a ton of time and it's effective. Like Gizmo AI, Kahoot, Quizlet, Anki, and Brainscape. It's all free. Next, self-quizzing. Generating your own questions from notes, using end-of-chapter questions, or utilizing old quizzes for practice tests. Just like flashcards, there's also a new ways to do self-quizzing, a new digital way. Just paste the topic and poof, the material's ready. And it comes in many forms that suit your style, like multiple choice, fill in the blanks, true or false, and many more. No need to think how to generate questionnaires or quizzes. Use Kahoot, Quizlet, FlexiQuiz, and Gizmo. Third, blurting. Take a blank sheet of paper and write everything you can remember about a topic, then check what you missed. Unlike flashcard and self-quiz, there's no new ways to do blurting. You do it manually. Those are the samples of active study. Science behind it. Each time you retrieve information, your brain strengthens the memory pathway. This makes it easier to remember next time. Researchers call this the testing effect. Now you have your SMART goals, your pro-planning, and you already organized your study space and materials, and you've already chosen your active learning and study techniques. Now the fifth and final method is called the proven ways to strengthening passive study or active study. There are two ways of strengthening passive study and active study. First is spaced repetition, and second is Feynman technique. Spaced repetition. Spaced repetition means reviewing your lessons several times, but with breaks in between. Instead of cramming everything the night before, you space your study sessions over days or weeks. Example schedule. Review 1, right after class. Review 2, after lunch. Review 3, after dinner. Review 4, next day. Review 5, next week. Think of it like watering a plant regularly. We do not pouring all the water at once. Over time, this helps your brain move information from short-term memory to long-term memory. Second, Feynman technique. Named after physicist Richard Feynman, this method helps you master a concept by teaching it simply. This way, your brain crystallizes the information and retain the information deep within your memory. Because you're not just memorizing it, your brain finds a way to simplify the complex idea by teaching. So, how to do Feynman technique? And what's the science behind it? Well, just simply teach. It doesn't matter with who you teach. It doesn't matter if it's a person, a stuffed toy, a pillow, or even a picture frame. When you try to explain a topic in your own simple words, you're using active recall, which means you're pulling the information out of your memory instead of just rereading notes. This is a much stronger way to make the information stick in your brain for the long term. While explaining, you'll notice parts that you don't fully get yet. These are your knowledge. The act of simplifying the concept, as if you're teaching it to a friend or even to a kid, makes you process the information deeply. It forces your brain to connect ideas and truly understand why something works, not just what it is. Each time you explain, review, and simplify again, your understanding gets stronger and clearer. That's why this method is so powerful, it turns studying into real learning. See, building your foundation isn't about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. Once you've got your goals, your plan, and your system in place, you're already halfway to those top grades. So here's my challenge for you. Set one smart goal today. Not tomorrow. Today. Write it in the comments. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you're serious about success. Subscribe if you're ready to turn your effort into excellence, because next week, we're diving into the secret science of strengthening your memory. Thanks for watching. And remember, success doesn't start in the classroom. It starts with preparation. See you in the next one.